Hey everybody, Dr. Joel Parker here with Veterinary Practice Solutions, and this is Whiteboard Wednesday. Rule number one, don't drop your marker, but that's okay, all right? This week we're talking about who's got the friendly torch. Like seriously, one of the major problems that owners, myself included, had in my practice were being able to leave the practice and have clients still come in. In the early stages, I would leave the practice and I'd have a relief vet there and I'd come back and the relief vet was bored and nobody came in to see them, and then I'd pay all this extra expense. And then one time we did a survey where we surveyed pet owners, mainly dog owners, because we could go to a dog park. I hired a survey crew and they asked, where did people go? And they went to, Marine Drive Veterinary Hospital and Ambleside Veterinary Hospital, and they went to see Joel Parker, and they didn't even know the name of the practice. And the reason behind that is because I was the friendliest person in the practice. I think I probably learned it off my mom, who was always very chit-chatty and friendly, which was a little bit embarrassing when you're a teenager. But now I look back and say that skill of being friendly to people, and to this day I still like talking to people. Be friendly, and that's the whole thing. But in order for you to leave your practice and build a stable practice, to build that legacy practice, to build that owner-independent practice, you're going to have to do something here called Hire for Smile, okay? So today's title is Who's Got the Friendly Torch? So that when you leave the practice, you pass that torch to somebody else, okay? Super, super important. Probably the first time I did that was when, for example, I hired my wife. She was a year behind me in vet school, and super, super cute, funny person. Clients used to tease me about how they like the new veterinarian better than me, all that kind of stuff. Clients are like, they get kind of cheeky. And then the second person we hired was our front end person, a really delightful person who was a client. And her name was Susan Campbell, and Susan brought her dog Dugan, the Cocker Spaniel, there for years to flush the potatoes out of his ears and all that kind of stuff. And Susan had spent thousands of dollars with us, super friendly, a really pretty older woman who'd been an airline stewardess in the old days for years, flew with the major airlines. And every time Susan would come in, she would have the whole place in stitches and be laughing. So a really funny, friendly person. And when we hired Susan, we passed that torch to her. So we could leave and people would still come in and see Susan. So one of the biggest things to get kind of out of the way when you're looking at expanding your practice and building this owner-independent practice is realizing that if you hire the right people, your clients will accept them. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the right veterinarian. You could actually have kind of a shy veterinarian, as long as they're not obnoxious. But you don't have to have the Celine Dion or the entertainer veterinarian in the room, although it's nice. But as long as you've got other staff doing that and carrying the friendly torch, then you can pull that off, okay? So the problem we're at now is that we're so tight on finding DVMs, we need them. We need a licensed DVMs in there, and so we can compensate for maybe not the most outgoing DVM as long as they're polite and friendly, and they learn how to educate, they learn how to practice good medicine. As long as we've got that, we can compensate with having friendly support staff, the kind of peri-DVM staff, right? Part of the team. So here's your action steps for today. Number one, hire for smile. Absolutely, right? Hire for friendliness, and then drill or train for skill. You want to be able to drill, you want to be able to train people and drill them and apprentice them and get them up to speed. But I don't know about you guys, but it's very, very difficult, to how to train somebody to smile without it being fake. You need generally upbeat people, uptone people, we call it, in order to build a really strong practice. And then finally, get out of the way. You got to use them or lose them. Sometimes I've seen practices where they've got incredibly good staff, but the veterinarian likes the spotlight. And I don't know about you, but yeah, that was maybe true for a couple of years of practice ownership. And then after you've gone on, some vacations and come back and seen the bank account drain because nobody liked the other people that were there. Once you've been through that a couple of times, then you start to kind of say, hey, we've got to build a team here, okay? And we've got to build a team of super friendly people that are carrying that friendly torch, bearing that torch when you go away. And I kind of look back too, we in the exam room as veterinarians will always play an important role. I don't think it's ever going to go kind of like, dial in your own symptoms and treat your own pets. I think we're always going to be needed, but I always look back to, for example, like Mick Jagger with the Rolling Stones. Mick isn't going to hire somebody to sing for him and lead the band for 3-4 hours, 2-3 hours, whatever the concerts are. He can't do that. But what he's got, what the Rolling Stones have got, are a support crew of 450 people that you're you really don't see. And that's the way to look at your practice. They're a functional team. Okay, guys? So just, to run these down again here, hire for smile, drill for skill, make sure you get people competent, and then use them or lose them, get out of the way. And that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is delegation versus abdication. Delegation is where you're training people and drilling them, making sure they're doing it right, and then you back away. Abdication is where you just kind of, give them the job description and then leave and deal with the problems. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching today. Look for the sign up button down below to attend our free webinar series, our Championing Private Practice Ownership series. We've got an incredible number of really excellent webinars for you, the owner of private practices and future owner of private practices. I want to thank our camera person today, Shanae. Thank you. Woohoo! And we shall see you next week. Thank you.